What's going on, guys? This is Tyro D Man, and this is part 8 of What If Naruto is in Demon Slayer. I hope you guys enjoy. We start with the continuation between Gyutaro and Tengen's battle. Tengen is throwing bombs all night, while at the same time is swinging his sword to hit those bombs, creating explosions. Because of this, Gyutaro's sense of hearing is being disrupted because of so many sounds happening at the same time, as Tengen smirks. Meanwhile, Tanjiro, Kanoe, and Zenitsu are battling Daki, as Zenitsu comments how Kanoe's attacks are starting to sound like gunshots because they're moving so fast. Kanoe in her head is telling herself to calm down, but does she really need to? Because this demon hurt the man she loved. Meanwhile, across the district, Naruto just woke up. With Tengen's 3 wives are trying to nurse him back to life. If Naruto automatically asks what's going on, what's happening, as the memories start flooding back in, asking where everybody is. At first, the 3 Kunoichi tried to stay silent, but Naruto would then use his storm-breathing second form, Eye of Storm, or Advanced, which basically means that he can do a bit of a bigger range than normal. Because of this, Naruto got an accurate description of how everybody is fighting, everybody's status somewhat, and not only that, where everybody is and how long it would take for him to get there. Naruto tries to go to where everybody else, but first his body falls over because he's too weak. One of Tengen's wives, whose name I can't remember at the moment, but the one with the black hair, tries to tell Naruto to rest. I keep saying Tanjiro on accident. Tries to tell Naruto to rest, but Naruto pushes her to his side. As he then tries to activate his blood demon art, but then he even recognizes that he can't because his body's taking too much of his energy to heal. He just tells his body to endure as he tries to run away, but now he has to fight Tengen's wives without his sword, so he only has to fist fight them. And of course, the wives win, but Naruto does a quote-unquote foxy move, as he pretends to fall over at first, and they all almost automatically try and catch him. Then he fakes them out and runs the opposite way. Then he tries to scatter around, eventually being able to juke them all, and runs the direction of where the battle's happening. Meanwhile, Kanoe is doing really well against Daki, to the point where Daki is trying to kill her with her ribbons, but she can't because Zenitsu and Tanjiro are extremely fast, especially since Tanjiro is using his Hinokami Kagura, and Zenitsu is asleep, so you already know he's being a badass about it too. If anything, she's just really trying to beg that her brother uses her body in a better way than she can. Gyutaro is not having as much luck. Of course, Tengen is poisoned, but because of his immunity, it does not work as well. And Tengen is actually starting to develop his musical score technique, almost. As all he's really seen is defensive techniques from Gyutaro, but he needs to see more offensive. So he lets his guard down a little bit on purpose, so Gyutaro can swing on him and continuously attack. Meanwhile, Naruto is across town, blitzing towards the battlefield as he's beginning to hear the bombs and gunshots. This confuses Naruto because he's never seen a demon with a gun. But he keeps on going, as he probably remembered a story from Rengoku's. Rengoku states, when the demon that allowed him to become a Hashira was a demon with a gun. Be careful and keep your mind ablaze. He then snaps back to reality as he remembers Rengoku, and this only got him more pissed. These demons think that they know everything, that they can do whatever they want, but they just can't. Not while I'm alive. He remembers his mother, his father, everything. He remembers that he can't just allow his body to be his only limiter. He has to go beyond his limits, beyond his body, in spirit and mind. He keeps on running faster and faster as his pace picked up. Meanwhile, Kanoe is doing extremely well, but because of the state of her body, and the fact that she's using most of her stamina to have very extremely hard jabs, which, because of her breathing style, is not really cooperating. She eventually runs out of stamina for a split second. This was Daki uses to make her fall off a building. She then breaks her leg. I know, just small fit, but she breaks her leg, and then Naruto hears it, the snapping of a foot. He then rushes towards that, and he sees Kanoe on the ground as Daki's trying to kill her with the ribbons, and Tanjiro and Zenitsu are trying their best to get to her as Naruto tells him his body to endure the pain, go beyond what you can normally do, set your heart ablaze. Naruto, almost out of instinct, and is preparing to do flame-breathing ninth form esoteric art, but he thinks about it. He thinks about the fastest way to get there, but also striking extremely hard. He then fuses the two. The upper part of his body is still in the position of the ninth form Rengoku, but the lower half looks like Thunderclap and Flash, as he would then say, blaze breathing, first form Rengoku. As he would then blitz towards Kanoe, striking the ribbons as hard as he can, then grabbing her while still in the Thunderclap and Flash like movement, and blitzes across, going past Gyutaro and Tengen, and then going somewhere safe. If his legs begin to spaz out as he fell to the ground, Kanoe tried to pick him up, but also her leg was too much for her. They're both on the ground. But at that point, Daki was distracted by almost a blinding light of the sword. And that one fraction of a second meant everything, as Zenitsu then forced his body to used thunder-breathing godlike speed. He would then cut off Daki's head and grab it and keep running, as he yelled to Tanjiro, "Cut off Gyutaro's head now!" Now, Tanjiro goes for Gyutaro, but Gyutaro would not let this slide. He would try and go for his zenitsu, but Tengen would throw his cleavers, pinning him to the ground. Gyutaro would yell, "I'm not going out like this. Not like this. I refuse. Damn you, Buddha. Damn you, God. You keep taking everything away from me, but you never return." Naruto hears this and wonders to himself, if he just let go, what if he just wanted to be evil? Instead of being a demon slayer, he could have been a demon. But he wouldn't have someone like Daki to hold him back. As Gyutaro's body began to shoot out blood, the blood sickle, his blood demon art, basically the move he used in the when he destroyed the entire city. Yeah, he does that again. But luckily Zenitsu's at a range, so he's still using godlike speed. Naruto can already sense this beforehand, so can Tengen. And Tanjiro is a little bit delayed, but basically Naruto forces his body again to use Thunderclap and Flash, and he grabs Kanoe. Now, he only can use it long enough for him to get out the way, but the second he uses it again, now his legs feel like they're paralyzed. Naruto is now on the ground and knocked out. A few seconds later, the fight seemed to settle, and around this point, Obanai was on its way. Tengen would regain his consciousness, and so will Tanjiro. As Tanjiro looked up, Gyutaro was right there. Tanjiro instinctively went for Kanoe, but he realized it was all blood. Kanoe's body was been stabbed multiple times. As Gyutaro would laugh, "You weak, pathetic pile of trash. Tell me, what was she to her? What was her to you?" As Naruto would look up, she was the love of my life. Don't you understand? Why hurt the love of your life like this? Why join the Demon Slayer Corps? God and Buddha, they only take, they don't give. The only good thing they give is life, and even that is questionable. Why give life to someone like me? And why let you live like a disgrace? Just become one of us. You're already halfway there. Allow Muzan's blood to consume you. Tanjiro was now now beginning to wake up. As he saw Gyutaro up to Naruto's face, but whatever he was saying, he couldn't hear it. All he knew that he had to get there as fast as possible. For a split second, Tanjiro was able to use Hinokami Kagura, but he could only use it as a boost, as the rest was water breathing as he yelled constant flux. He tried striking Gyutaro, but Naruto blocked it. Naruto would laugh. Maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't help people that only take. Naruto's eyes glowed red, as finally he was able to attract the four tails, but this time he wasn't going berserk. Gyutaro would laugh. Finally, someone understands. Someone understands, as he laughs louder and louder. Then Naruto would state, but the best thing about the Buddha and gods, what they give us is strength. I'm strong. So are you, yet you take from the weak. That's pitiful. As he turns around and tries to chop off Gyutaro's head, but his reflexes were too fast. As the best Naruto can do was cut half of his sickle, but the other one was blocking the way to his neck. He then tried striking Naruto's lungs, but Naruto was able to get out of the way fast enough and grab Kanao's body. You see, Naruto knew Kanao wasn't dead. She just had poison. But the thing is, she's poison resistant. But fuck. So Naruto's running away right now, which seems a bit cowardly when you realize the fact that Tengen's still awake. Tengen laughs out loud. My musical score technique. It's finished. As Gyutaro would laugh, what is he blabbering on about? As then Gyutaro remembers, he hasn't found Daki yet. But as long as he stays alive, he should be fine. And meanwhile, we see Zenitsu trying to crawl as Daki's hair tried to snap his neck. But, he keeps cutting it off and eventually even shaves off her hair. Right now, she's just, ahead. Zenitsu's trying to crawl around with, as he's trying to get as far away as possible. But eventually, the human body can only take so much. So he passes out. But at that same second, Obanai standing in front of him as he tells Zenitsu, boy, where'd you get this demon head? And Zenitsu laughed. The entertainment district is over there. Save Naruto. As Zenitsu would pass out, Obanai would chuckle. That's odd. He normally is always yelling and screaming and acting scared, but he's worried about someone else. Maybe he's not that bad. Although, this seems to be a lower-ranked demon. As he kept on walking forward with the demon head in hand, Obanai was now about to enter the entertainment district arc. Entertainment district. That slipped out my bad. The entertainment district. Obanai kept on walking and eventually heard the sound of clashing, screaming, and of course, the yelling of Naruto yelling blood demon art mini tail beast bomb. Yeah, that's right, you learned it. So now Naruto and Gyutaro are fighting, and because he boils his blood, obviously still the poison does not affect him. But he also has this odd thing called he has tails and can cloak people with the tails. And since the tails are at the boiling point, he can also boil someone else's blood. Obviously this could have the side effect of killing someone, but luckily Naruto can only boil it enough for the poison to go away. So Kanao is a bit fine. She's still knocked out and has a bunch of stab wounds, but she's gonna be alright. So now Naruto and Gyutaro are fighting. Naruto's getting more and more confident, but not cocky. He knows what he's doing, and since Tengen unlocked his musical score, he actually knows what Gyutaro's about to do a bit before Gyutaro even does it. Tanjiro, Naruto, and Tengen, all three of them are a bit much for Gyutaro, so he tries just overwhelming with his blood sickles, but eventually Naruto tells himself to summon the strength of 100 demon slayers, and Tanjiro tells himself to summon the strength of the ancestors that guided him this entire time. He needs to summon the strength of the Hinokami. At the same time, almost coincidentally, Naruto gets a marking on his left cheek. It's a fox with 9 tails, and on the right was a storm cloud. And Tanjiro's forehead scar just grew as they both yelled. Tanjiro would yell, "Hinokami Kagura, clear blue sky," as Naruto would yell, "Storm breathing, 5th form, Sky Dragon Dance." And because both of them are rotating slashes, basically, technically, Naruto's comes first, and then he's up in the air. While Gyutaro's up in the air, Tanjiro would use clear blue sky, cutting off his waist, and then Naruto would cut off Gyutaro's head. After this, both Gyutaro and Daki are now dead, but they don't get to blame each other because they're nowhere near each other. So, as Obanai arrives to the entertainment district, he sees that both Naruto and Tanjiro are knocked on the ground, and Tengen is heavily breathing, as Gyutaro is now screaming for Daki, and Daki is now screaming for Gyutaro, and they both meet eyes. They try blaming each other, but Obanai tells Daki to shut up. And since Tanjiro's knocked out, he can't spread his word of wisdom, so basically they both die. They kind of make up in the afterlife, and then go on. But on the bright side, since Obanai was there and Naruto had a special boiled after effect, pretty much almost everybody survived. Except for Tengen. Tengen still dies since, Naruto wasn't able to boil Tengen. So Tengen dies. He tells Obanai to tell his 3 wives that he loves them and that he hopes to see him in the afterlife drinking sake. And he even tells Obanai that his last dying wish is to grant Naruto and Tanjiro the rank of Hashira to replace him and Rengoku. Obanai states they can't technically do it, but then Tengen replies that not only did Naruto and Tanjiro kill Gyutaro up a rank 6, they also killed Rui and they also killed Enbu. At this point, they've proven themselves Hashira level. As Obanai states, I will bring this to our boss, because I don't remember his name. Our boss. Oh, it's Kaguya. We'll bring this up to Kaguya or the master, and maybe your last dying wish will be fulfilled. As he tells Tengen to rest in peace, and that he has to go find his 3 wives. His 3 wives, almost on perfect timing, run up to Tengen, start crying. They start fighting each other, but Tengen yells as loud as he possibly can. He brings them all into a hug, and that's when his heart stops. And they all begin to sob. And at this point, a Demon Slayer team basically comes out to do some cleanup. Naruto, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Kanoe are on stretchers. Tengen is pronounced dead, and his last words were given to Kaguya. And Kaguya has to call his Hashira meeting to discuss what they're gonna do. In about 2 weeks, Naruto wakes up and he realizes that Tengen is dead because he couldn't get to them as fast enough. He feels saddened because not only is Rengoku dead, who is very close to him, Tengen is now dead, and he feels pretty much responsible for it. And he thinks over Gyutaro's words about how Buddha and God, they just take and take and take and give little back. But he then thinks about his own take on it. He thinks about how, yes, they take and take and take, but they gave him the luck to have adventures like these, to have friends like Tanjiro, to have a life. And honestly, he'd rather Buddha take everything but his friends. So after another month of trying to regain strength, Tanjiro and Naruto are called to a Hashira meeting. As guests, obviously, Kaguya explains Tengen's last words about, about his wife, but they kind of skip over that because that's specifically towards the wife. But what was specifically addressed to Kaguya is that Tengen wants Naruto and Tanjiro to replace him as Hashira and Rengoku. That's him and Rengoku since they both died. And Kaguya wants all the Hashiras take. Obviously Sanemi, because Naruto's half demon and Tanjiro's little sister is a demon, he disagrees. What's his name? The big stone dude, I keep forgetting his name. Yeah, he disagrees as well. Giyu obviously agrees, Shinobu agrees, Matsuri agrees. And since pretty much, and the Mist and Obanai both agree as well. Well, Obanai is like, half and half about it. He doesn't really care either way. He thinks they're going to be a waste of time, but it's also like they're dwindling and they have proven themselves. So at this point, they might as well be. So since pretty much more than half of them have said that they agree that Naruto and Tanjiro should be Hashira, then Kaguya asks Naruto and Tanjiro, would you like to be Hashira to replace Rengoku and Tengen? Naruto thinks it over, Tanjiro thinks it over. Tanjiro happily accepts, but Naruto happily declines. Kaguya asks Naruto why. As Naruto states, he believes no doubt Tanjiro should be a Hashira, but if Naruto himself became a Hashira, it would just be a fake position, almost like they only need me for pity. Naruto wants to become a Hashira the traditional way, to fully prove himself as a very high-ranking demon slayer. And he also specifically states to Tanjiro, like, there's no hate towards him. Tanjiro 100% deserves it, but Naruto doesn't, because he allowed Tengen to die. His body was too weak. As Giyu now has a very high interest in Naruto, even though they were already considered family together, but Giyu never knew that Naruto had these feelings, because it's almost like how he feels most of the time, survivor skill and all. Tanjiro also understands Naruto's survivor guilt, so Kaguya states, alright, Tanjiro is now another water pillar / unknown, because, Tanjiro has like another breathing style that's not really known yet. So Tanjiro is now pronounced a water pillar with Giyu Tomioka. So now there's 2 water pillars. In Naruto, Kaguya specifically tells Naruto that he's accepted to be in the Hashira ranks anytime he wants or anytime he feels like it. Yeah. And then Kaguya dismissed the Hashira meeting. Naruto goes back to the butterfly state, meets Kanoe. They, do relationship stuff. And this is when we're going to end the part. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. I'm uploading this specifically after What If Goku had Haki. And please tell me how much you like this part, because we're almost at 10 parts for this series, which is very rare for me because I don't really normally go past like 7. And yeah, thank you for listening.